Well, we are into the sixth match week of football in the English Premier League. 5 games in the book for all the teams, and now we are up to match week 6. Got a full slate of games this weekend. We got some good ones. Definitely going to want to stick around for this. This is the Red Card Radio Preview Show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League. And this week we got right now, end of your week, we've got the preview of match week 6. Got 10 games coming at you this weekend across Saturday and Sunday. Just finished the slate of midweek matches. Some good games there as well, but we're here to focus on the preview coming in. So we're just going to quickly run down that list of games before we talk about some specific games. But we kick off Saturday morning with the Merseyside Derby. At Goodison Park, Everton are hosting Liverpool, one of the biggest games in English football. It's exciting. It's a derby. Both these teams are kind of in flux right now, so maybe it will be a close game, but I don't think so. Continuing on, Brentford will be hosting Leeds. Chelsea host West Ham United in a London derby Saturday morning. Newcastle welcome Crystal Palace to St. James Park. Nottingham Forest will be hosting Bournemouth. Second London derby of the weekend. Spurs are hosting Fulham. Wolves will be hosting Southampton. We got Villa hosting City. And then on Sunday, Brighton and Leicester in the early match. And then up at Old Trafford, we've got Manchester United versus Arsenal. That is going to be a good one as well. Might have an El Sacchio in Villa versus City.
Oh.
You think about that?
Second El Sacchio?
I mean...
Well, we didn't know Liverpool-Bournemouth was an El Sacchio, but...
We did not, but that one might be. That one might be. Do you think if City put about 100 past Villa that Gerrard's done? Then we could do this quickly. We didn't actually anticipate talking about this, but I mean,
no.
You don't think so? You think Villa survive? Or you think Gerrard survives?
Gerrard survives. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think Villa are. All right, so you're saying it's 0-0-9.
Yeah.
Same score. Just to be fair.
Yeah.
0-9.
Yeah, just to be fair.
Does Gerrard get sacked? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. No, that's a question. Yeah, you get.
He gets sacked
at home.
Yeah.
At home, yeah, he might not leave the stadium before he gets sacked.
All right, let's move up to the Merseyside Derby. That is Everton hosting Liverpool. What do we make of this one, Sean? What are we expecting out of this match?
All right, so I've learned my lesson.
Okay.
So I don't know if I said this on the pod at all last week. Probably didn't. I probably forgot. I had a good buddy who bets fairly often, responsibly,
That's
and
good.
usually does well because he usually listens to good advice. He did not get any last week.
Is he an avid listener of Red Card Radio? Because if he does, you should tell him to never listen to me because apparently I give bad advice.
I will inform him of that, but he probably won't listen for betting advice because of me. He texted me on Monday of the Liverpool United game.
Oh, okay.
And said, "Am I stupid for putting money plus 450 on to Manchester United?" And I said yes, which basically, if you do not bet, just means if you bet 400, or if you bet 100, you win 450 plus your 100 back. And that's for United to win. And I was like, yes, you're stupid for that. United are awful. Liverpool are better than their results than they've said. I'd said to him, the only thing that you have going in your favor on the United side is that this is a rivalry game, heated unlike most other in England. So it is probably going to be a close game, just like Duke UNC would be, even if neither of them are good.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a good game because they hate each other.
Yep.
And look at what happened. So we can look at this game and think Everton are poop, Liverpool are poop, but better poop. Liverpool should steamroll this game, but they both hate each other. So who the F knows? All I'm saying for this game for betting purposes is don't bet on it.
Yeah.
I never bet on whenever I used to not like I quit. By the way, I didn't need to quit gambling. I just stopped because I just put like $20 on and then the $20 ran out, so I never put more money on. But I just stopped. But if I were still betting, I don't bet rivalry games because you just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much emotional intangible that you cannot analyze on paper
Yeah.
that go into rivalry games. So who knows? It's basically my analysis.
I think it would be wild if Everton were to win the match. I don't think that there's any chance that happens.
How long is DCL out?
I think I saw that he's supposed to be back in training next week. So like
Okay.
after the Liverpool, but like let's be honest, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not helping Everton to beat Liverpool.
No. I was just curious because he was out for the majority of last year and came back at the end,
Yes.
and it's essentially assisted them not get relegated. And then I guess picked up something in the offseason and now is out for a little bit. And you don't want to write two freak injuries off of, because I know the one last year during the season was not something, it could have happened to anybody.
Yeah.
That's not an injury prone player. You know what I mean? It's not something that just happens to an injury prone player. It could have happened to anybody. And then I don't know what happened in the offseason, but this starts to continue, then you got to worry about the kid's future of like, all right, what's going to happen, man?
My thought process today when I was watching the Everton Leeds match, and I was like, man, I'm really happy that Arsenal didn't actually sign him. Arsenal were linked to Dominic Calvert-Lewin for many weeks in the spring, and I'm very glad that we did not sign him.
Yeah. Yeah. Just seems, yeah, you would have started without him.
Yeah. Let's move down to the capital. We've got
Yeah.
two London derbies coming up. We're going to start first with Chelsea and West Ham. That's going to be at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, who are all over the place right now. West Ham, who have not had a good start to this season. And
I'm going to give credence to Fulham and say the only good games that Chelsea have played this year are Fulham and Tottenham. Because the only time I have watched the game and seen Chelsea be good was Tottenham, but maybe that was because I was undervaluing how good Fulham is. Because I watched the first game of the season with Chelsea, Fulham, and Fulham looked just as equal to Chelsea, but they also seemed to be just as much equal to anybody at the top so far. They looked equal to Liverpool.
well,
So,
I'm confused. Chelsea haven't played Fulham yet. They played Everton in the first match week.
then maybe,
Are you just talking generally about Fulham looking good?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Sorry.
yes.
I couldn't. I had a hard time.
Because Fulham looked equal to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So maybe, so Chelsea. The only good game that I'm giving them is Tottenham. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they just played up to Tottenham and then then we're seeing their true colors everywhere else.
Yes,
I don't.
so Chelsea have beaten Everton, who everyone should beat Everton, but they've had stinker results. I mean, they beat Leicester, which was an impressive result, down to 10 men. I don't know if that's more a product of Chelsea were good in that match, or Leicester were just very very bad in that match. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get out of Chelsea this weekend. They're kind of up and down very much. I would look at on paper Chelsea versus West Ham. I just expect Chelsea to beat West Ham, but I don't know if that's a good expectation. Now, of course, West Ham have had a torrid start to the season, 3 losses. They did beat Aston Villa. Um, uh, Kind of an awkward situation that we're in recording this podcast because I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit. The latter half of the fifth match week games haven't happened as we're recording this, so we can't really draw on the result of the West Ham Spurs match to kind of inform our decision necessarily about this Chelsea match. So generally speaking, you know, maybe West Ham get a result against Spurs. I don't know, but you know, if I expect West Ham to have lost that game, and then they play Chelsea, I just don't. I don't see how West Ham they have not looked good this year. Is I guess my point. So I would expect Chelsea to win that match. Now I think Spurs and Fulham is a more interesting matchup if I'm being completely honest, because Fulham have been good. Fulham have been good this year, and even though I think the results show that as well, that they've been good. Are you concerned at all against playing Spurs, or against Spurs playing Fulham? Are you concerned at all as a Spurs fan?
Of course. Of course, they look strong. And as I said preseason, so you can pull those tapes. Mitrovic looks every bit the task.
That's a fair point. I think Brad and I both discounted Mitrovic. To our own detriment.
Yeah. Brad pulled the stats of the last time he was up, and I also wanted him to pull the last time Lukaku was up in the up in the league too. Like what are we pulling? Like you're just pulling shit from years ago. Like once you get on a goal score, it's kind of like being a pitcher or a shooter in baseball. Like once you get in a form, you get in a groove, you get confidence, you start playing in your own game, and maybe you find a manager that clicks well with you and football, and that just seems to be what happened to Mitrovic. That like we said, that we looked up and the man had 30 goals and it was like February, and of course it's the championship and they played they played 6 more games. Up there, they think they play. Yeah. So they play 6 more games up there, but it was February and the guy had 30 goals. I think he finished with close to 40.
He's 43.
43. Oh my gosh, even better.
It should just basically be 100. Like the dude scored a lot of goals last year. It's insane.
Yeah.
And he's kicked on, and he's looked. Yeah. I think even more than necessarily the specific total number of goals that he's scored so far this season, he's looked a threat. He has looked threatening. He is getting in positions. He's a big, broad, strong center forward. And he's
who can move, and it was comfortable with the ball at his feet.
He doesn't look outmatched by the center backs in the Premier League, which 2 years ago when Fulham were up, he did. But now, to your point, he's on a strong vein of form. He looks like a handful.
He does not. He doesn't look like Andy Lambert.
Okay, there we go. I don't. I expect Spurs to win this game. I expect
the same.
I think Spurs should recognize, and I think Conte is the type of manager that won't look past Fulham. I think Spurs will respect Fulham, but I think that Spurs should control that game. That they should. I think they should see it through.
Conte strikes me as the type of manager, more on the vein of a Belichick, if you're an NFL fan, of not just like Pep Guardiola to the like Nick Saban will talk up the opposing team the week before. They're really good players. They play with inspiring form every week. But Conte strikes me the type to be like, yeah, we're going to play with confidence. He's going to talk about his own team, and then he's going to get in the meeting room and he's going to like slam the desk back and be like, look at this, get on this tablet and tell me what you see with this Mitrovic guy, because this is incredible. You guys need to be on your game, like, and show them this is no slouch.
Yeah,
like put it on the big screen. You guys think you're going to push over this guy?
Yeah.
and like break them down like and put the fear of God in them.
What's his name? And it's beyond that. Like Fulham, I need to pull up his name. They've got the what's his name? I need to pull it up real quick. He's the Jamaican guy. I feel bad, like the attacking player. Where are attackers? Hold on.
For much as we've made fun of
D. Cordova Reed, he is a
D. Cordova Reed is a baller, man. He was putting in some balls. Yes,
like this attacking core for Fulham is really strong in my opinion. I think that we kind of meme on Mitrovic a little bit because of 2 years ago in the Premier League, but this is a different Mitrovic, and D. Cordova Reed is in the thick of things. He is pacey. He is good on the ball. So I think that, I mean, Spurs have looked really good defensively throughout this season, but I think they will have their handful definitely coming into this match.
I wanted to make sure I had it pulled up.
Yeah.
So when Scott Parker was at Fulham, so this was a comment made about someone I really trust, who seems to have really good analytics. And this is a compliment to Fulham and their recruitment, because this is back when Parker had Fulham. This is a couple of years ago. The early sacking from Bournemouth after 4 games, but his job at Fulham said a lot about Parker in a negative way. He didn't have the spaces to put this. His squad was so much better than Silva's is currently. So all of this, I'm filling in things that he can't put in with the characters he has provided. So Parker had Anguissa, Joachim Anderson, Lookman, Robert Loftus-Cheek, and Mitrovic, who he froze out, yet only 28 points. His setups are naive and don't maximize the players he has. So if you take that, look at Joachim Anderson at Palace. He's doing great. Lookman doing great. I don't know where Anguissa is, but Loftus-Cheek is a great player for Chelsea.
He's been starting for Chelsea.
And Mitrovic is a great player for Fulham. So you take that with Silva's current team, which just speaks to 1, Fulham's recruitment, and 2, Silva's willingness to let players grow, and Parker's constrictedness. Maybe that had something to do with Bournemouth firing him. But that is an in-depth look from somebody that I trust on Twitter. I don't just scroll past.
Yeah, I think this will be, if you had to choose between which game to watch, if you're just like an avid, if you're a football fan and you're like, it's 10 o'clock on Saturday and you need to pick a game to watch, it would have, between those two specifically, between the Chelsea West Ham and the Spurs Fulham game, I'm picking the Spurs Fulham game. And I detest Fulham. And I detest Spurs because I'm an Arsenal fan. But I think that's going to be a better game.
Speaking of which, before we get to your game, we need to cut out some of these London derbies. I can't have derbies with Palace and Fulham and Brentford and West Ham. They're not real teams. They're not real teams.
Let's agree. We'll just relegate Chelsea, and that's one less on the.
All right. We got
solves the problem.
I think the entire podcast agrees. That we could just relegate Fulham or relegate Chelsea. Get Fulham out. They're over there too. Fulham in the south. No, just relegate Brentford too. Yeah, they're over there in the west.
Let's just delete Chelsea. They go into administration, sell off all their assets. They are banned from ever being a thing again, and
done.
Saves the day. Maybe we could turn Stamford Bridge into nice affordable housing setup. Fill it up with people.
I claim Mason Mount though.
We're claiming players.
Well, they're free agents now.
Okay, just. Who? If I could have anyone off Chelsea right now, who would it be?
Mount's the only plug and play on our team.
I mean, he's young and he is. Yeah. I think everyone would say N'Golo Kante is an upgrade over their current center defensive midfielder, but he's older. Eduardo Mendy's really. You guys need a new goalkeeper. Hugo is getting old. Eduardo Mendy's an option. Neither here nor there. Let's talk. Let's go up to Old Trafford. Let's talk about old Manchester United, Erik ten Hag and the boys against Mikel Arteta. This is a big rivalry. These two clubs do not like each other. Of course, United are coming off of they beat Southampton a week ago at the weekend. They play Leicester, which of course, again, we don't have the luxury of knowing the result of that match yet. Arsenal, of course, play Villa as well. We don't have the luxury of knowing that result. Um, I think this is going to be a good game. I think that United are this in the same sense that United got up for the game against Liverpool. I think United will be fired up. I think Casemiro plays for them. Anthony might play in this match for United. But
if you're lucky, he might do a couple twirly birds for you.
yeah, I hope to see that. But Arsenal are different. I don't think Mikel Arteta will allow that team to not be emotionally and mentally ready for the game against United. Now, I think there's going to be some injury questions. Of course, with Partey and Mo El-Neni, will certainly miss this match. So, I mean, Arteta's going to have to get creative in midfield. And so I think it could be a tough game for Arsenal through the middle of the park.
I don't see why you don't still have. Are you thin at center back? I don't see why you don't still have your Xhaka 6, Odegaard 8. And then
there's an interesting. I read an interesting theory today. Is play Ben White at the 6. Play Ben White where Thomas Partey had been. Leave Xhaka where he is, and bring Tomiyasu back into the side at right back. And then
is he ready?
Who?
Tomiyasu?
I think he should be. I mean, he's played 30 minutes here or there. Maybe he's not ready for a full 90. I don't know. But that would be an interesting lineup. It'll be interesting to see. And of course, again, sucks that we don't see this. What Arteta will ultimately do against Villa. But I think I just never trust Arsenal away at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? Like you, in the same sense that you never trust Spurs away at Palace.
Yeah,
I don't trust Arsenal away at United. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and we'll get a result there, and I'll be super ecstatic. But Old Trafford's a tough place to play. I don't think that United will be bad. I don't. I think we were very quick to write United off this year. Mostly, I think for jokes and for memes. But it's still Manchester United. It's Manchester United.
For my own memes, you say that's a heated rivalry for you guys. So was Liverpool and United were talking about doing a walkout during their rivalry game, and I don't hear any whispers of them doing that for Arsenal coming in.
Well, that's because it wasn't that protest was really tame.
Fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
Talking about and
I think it was muted, by the way. I don't think it was tame. I think it was muted.
Well, but the thing is, it was certainly a thing outside of the ground. But the idea was that they were all going to come into the stadium and then leave the stadium. Excuse me. But then no one left because they were winning the game. I thought that Old Trafford would empty if Liverpool got a goal and took the lead, but they never did. So Old Trafford stayed full. Yeah, I mean, I see your point about no one's calling for a walkout against Arsenal.
Just wanted to take a rib. But I just feel like that's a one-sided rivalry.
It's not. You just don't. You're not aware of the history between Arsenal and United in the 2000s.
Just like I'm supposed to be a rival with Leeds.
Well, only if you talk to certain people on Twitter.
Yeah. Well.
No. Yeah. Go back to. There's a lot of bad blood between them. Not necessarily this Arsenal team and this Manchester United team, but historically, there's a lot of bad blood between Arsenal and Manchester United.
I'm sure there was with Cantona and Carrick and Scholes and Vieira and
yeah,
Pires. You had another one in the middle that was really feisty too.
Freddie Ljungberg.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like that. Those midfields battling each other. I'm probably sure there was some feisty challenges with some of those.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So it'll be good. Which should we pick scores for some of these games? Since Brad's not here,
not here.
Let's pick scores for Chelsea West Ham.
That's
I think that's only
Chelsea.
fair. I think since Brad's not here, we're also going to pick the score for Brad as if he were here, right? So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, Brad's definitely going to pick 3-0.
Yeah. Brad is
I
100%.
think you agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's something Brad would definitely say. What do you
3-0 with like a mount brace.
probably? How do you think that game's going to end?
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. All right.
Yeah.
I think you are probably right, but I'm going to take a 1-0 victory to West Ham just so I
Okay.
can be different. If
Okay.
you if you're looking for a game to watch as a Red Card Radio listener and you think that there's something you should watch, might I suggest to you Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth? It's the championship matchup in the Premier League. Both those teams are newly promoted. It will be I think that should be a good one for you to peruse. And of course, when you do watch that one, I will need a detailed breakdown of that match in the comments so that we can talk about that next week.
I want the commenters to tell me specifically on a scale of 1 to the most possible.
1 to infinity.
So
1 to infinity.
1 to infinity. How British does the Forest manager look?
Oh, yeah.
Because that is the most British looking man I have ever seen in my life.
He's very British.
I have looked for many years at Big Sam and Sean Dyche. Well, I don't even know if Sean Dyche is Brit. Well, he is British. I don't know if he's English. How English does the Nottingham Forest manager look?
It would be hilarious if he's not English.
I'm looking it up right now.
He's going to look up, but I'm going to go to the outro because that's all we got for you guys. That's the preview for match week 6 for the 6th match day. If you're new here, we would love you to hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button, leave us a comment in YouTube, share
He's Welsh.
Leave us a comment, share this podcast with a friend. It would be really awesome, and we would really appreciate it. You can hit us up on Twitter. That's at whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Our absent party this week is at KS Brad G. We collectively can be reached at redcard_radio. And that's all we've got for you this week. Definitely watch some football this weekend. It should be a really, really good weekend for some matches. And check back with us next week where we break it all down for you and make some more hilarious mistakes. But until then, we'll see you next time. Good night.